Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a kind of first impressions review, wear test, and whole shebang on the new Sunday Riley The Influencer Foundation. And I was super excited to try this because I just totally fed into their hype on Instagram. It looks amazing. I trust Sunday Riley as a brand. I really love the brand. I've used several of their products and seen great results. Everyone kind of loves their cult products. So I have super high hopes for this, and I've actually tried it a few other times previously before this video, but it just didn't come out the way that I was hoping. So today I'm going to do my regular tried and true foundation review on it. So I'm not going to use any primer. I'm going to use my go-to setting powder, and we're going to see how this goes. So if you want to see my honest review and thoughts on the Sunday Riley Influencer Foundation, please keep watching. So to start off this review of the Sunday Riley The Influencer Foundation, I just wanted to read to you guys what it says and claims to do on the packaging, and the box and the actual tube say the same things. So it says clean longwear foundation, natural looking longwear, lightweight feel, satin matte finish with medium to full coverage. And it's like cruelty free, paraben free, talc, gluten, synthetic fragrance free. So this makes a million promises on the tin, and it's basically claims to be a miracle foundation, and a matte finish with full coverage that is natural looking and does all that is basically sounds like my dream foundation. The packaging, I like it because I like that there's a pump and a cap, and I like the tube kind of, but it looks exactly like the IT Cosmetics CC cream container. So I think that's what's kind of putting me off of it, because this isn't like my favorite product. So I have like slightly weird feelings about it, but I'm not gonna hold that against it, and we're gonna test it out. And I have this giant friend right here that I'm sure is like looking at you with its own two eyes that it's growing. So we're gonna really be able to see if this is full coverage and if it does all that it claims to do. So I've moisturized my skin and done all my regular skincare prep, but I'm not going to use a primer. I'm just gonna go straight in with the foundation and my damp beauty blender. Whenever I test foundations, I always do it the same way without primer, and I set it with my favorite MAC Mineralize Skinfinish powder just so that they all get a fair test, because I kind of know how no primer and that powder affects everything, and that's kind of my all-time favorite powder. So we're going to apply it that way, and I'm just starting with one pump all over the T-zone area. And I think I forgot to mention I got mine in the shade 120, which is fair with neutral undertones, and actually is kind of a perfect color match for me, it looks like. So I want more coverage, so I'm going to take another full pump for the cheeks. And I have a couple other dark spots on my cheeks that need covering as well. So this is how we're looking with two pumps all over the face, but to me this is definitely more of a medium coverage, and I definitely want it to see if I can get a full coverage out of this. So I'm going to go in with a third pump and apply that all over the skin as well. 3 whole pumps of this foundation is blended in all over the face now, and I'll just try to come in a little closer to get you guys a better idea of how it's looking on my skin. It definitely does not have any kind of a matte finish to me. It's very satin, very dewy looking and wet. It's been a couple minutes and it's still just like super wet to the touch, has not set down at all. So I was hoping for a slightly more matte finish, just because I'm oily and this kind of scares me. And then I would also say I have a lot of dryness around my nose at the moment, and it's kind of clinging to that in a weird way. So it doesn't look all that great. And then this giant friend we have here, the redness is still peeking through. This is kind of a good test if this is full coverage or not. It is somewhat covered, but I'm definitely going to need to layer on an additional concealer to make myself comfortable for the rest of the day, just because it's really red. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup and set this down, and then I'll be right back to give you my final like first impressions thoughts of how this looks right off the bat. So I finished off the rest of my makeup, and I've went for a really like light, easy makeup look, nothing too crazy because today's Sunday and I just didn't want to pile on a whole lot. And I did set my whole face with my MAC Mineralize Skinfinish powder, which is my favorite go-to setting powder. It usually gives my face a really nice, just perfected, blurred, and like natural but still matte look. So with the powder on, this foundation still never like set, and it still is very like wet to the touch, I would say, even though I packed on some powder to try to set it down. And I'll try to come in close so you can see just how it's wearing. And then where I tried to apply some bronzer on my nose, it kind of caused some separation. And again, it's still kind of clinging to these dry patches on my nose and not looking like the most natural and perfected. And it's definitely like seriously still wet to the touch. Like if I touch my finger to it, you can't really tell on camera probably, but there's like white foundation on my finger coming off. So I'm not super impressed with this. This is my actually probably third or fourth time wearing the foundation. I tried other times with a couple primers, with a mattifying primer that I really like, with my go-to YSL Touche Éclat Glow Primer, which really blurs the pores and helps keep the skin even, and also with my Glam Glow setting spray. And with all three of those, and I also tried it with the Charlotte Tilbury powder, I kind of had the same results where it's separating a lot and just not matting down. So I would definitely say that this is not a matte foundation. I think they really kind of missed the mark saying that it's a satin like matte finish, because I think a lot of people that would typically be going after a Sunday Riley foundation would want that glowy natural foundation look, and those people probably don't want matte coverage, and all the people that want matte coverage are going to get this and I think personally be a little disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed in it, but I'm going to keep it on for a few hours and then catch up with you guys later in the day just to see how it's worn, and maybe it'll turn out to be fantastic. But the one thing that I will say about this foundation that I really like, because it's such a clean product and there's no bad ingredients in it, I did wear it those 4 other days and I had no problems with my skin. When I removed it at night, my skin wasn't red or irritated. I didn't have any breakouts, although I do now, obviously, but I didn't get anything from this foundation. So it is really nice, clean feeling, but to me it also just feels really heavy. But when you take it off, it doesn't feel like it's kind of staying in your skin, but when you're wearing it, it just feels like it's kind of thick and sitting on top of the skin. But anyway, we'll catch up later and see how it's wearing. Hey guys, so it's been about 3 or 4 hours, I think, since I applied my makeup, and it's not looking horrible, but I just really don't like the finish of this personally. It's still never set down. It's really sticky and like tacky to the touch and totally rubs off. And this giant zit definitely did peek through, which I won't hold against it. But right here in the crease of my chin, it's really starting to collect and separate. And same thing with where my sunglasses are, but again, can't hold that against it. But anywhere where I touch, it just like immediately comes off and leaves a smudge. And it's just really starting to like collect like around any creases on my face. Like I've never had a foundation settle into this chin line before, and this is doing that. And personally, for something that promises to be like a, satin matte, I would not expect it to be this tacky. I'd want it to dry down a little bit more matte for my oily skin. So if you have dry skin, this might be like perfect and beautiful on you, but I personally would not recommend this to anyone that has oily or combination skin, because if you have oily skin, it's just going to be too sticky and greasy, and if you have combination skin, it's definitely going to cling to any dry patches and then be tacky on the rest of your face. So for $42, I really just wasn't impressed with this, and I think my verdict is I'm gonna have to return it. I should have actually just gotten a sample instead of buying the whole thing, but I just felt so confident that I was gonna love it because it was from Sunday Riley that I just bought it right away. So I'm a little disappointed in this, but I think it probably would be really nice if you have drier skin. Typically when I do these review videos, I do a little bit of a longer wear test than just like a few hours after I've applied it. I kind of show you throughout the whole day all the way to late at night, but I just don't like the feel of this on my skin, and I can tell I'm not going to have it on much longer. I already want to take it off. I kind of wanted to take it off as soon as I put it on. So I just wanted to be straight up honest and share my like actual reactions with you guys so that you knew how I felt about it, and I don't want to just keep it on for the sake of keeping it on. And the other previous times where I've tried it, I've kept it on for longer and it just gets greasier and greasier in my experience. So I'm just not a fan of leaving it on for a super long time. But again, I still love Sunday Riley as a brand. There's tons of other products that I really like from them. This I just think isn't good if you have oily skin. And that's it for this honest review of the Sunday Riley The Influencer Foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my honest, raw thoughts on this foundation. I still really love Sunday Riley as a brand. As always, all the products that I'm wearing will be listed in the description box down below. And please subscribe if you haven't yet so that you don't miss my next video. And thank you so much for watching.